Hey you guys, it is a beautiful morning out. Good day to go to a car auction. So let's get to it. All right, here we are, the Oklahoma Auto Exchange. Man, they put up some new gates since the last time I've been here. That's fancy. See, these are some of my favorite flip cars right here. Got an 08 Pontiac G6, 182,000 miles. I've sold many of these. Usually 2750 is about what they go for, 2800, even with that many miles on it. Yes, she's got a cracked windshield, a dent here. That is really about it. Interior's decent, no rips, no tears, just needs a little cleaning, nothing major. I think this one would be great after the weird beard treatment. As far as clear coat peeling, got a little here on the rear bumper, and that is it. Everything else is fine. So on the inside, you know, you got your typical little things like little clip holds the visor up broken. That's to be expected, just little things like that. Super easy fixes. Let's see what she does when she fires up, hopefully. There we go, she fired right up. AC's already blowing cold. Somebody must have had it fired up a minute ago. She seems to be running very well. Obviously, we want to test the gears. The bad thing about an auction, no test drive. I mean, you could kind of go around the parking lot. I wouldn't do that on auction day, too many people out here, but if you came out the day before, that no one would have a problem with it. That's about all you get. Otherwise, we're just going to check, make sure. That's what I'm doing over here, and just making sure she goes into the gears, which she does. Sometimes I might give it just a little bit of gas with the foot on the brake. See if she tries to pull, which she does seem to do very well, actually. That's about it. I mean, we can sit here and let it warm up, make sure the heat works, make sure it doesn't overheat, all that good stuff. And that's about all you're going to get at the auction. Here we've got an 07 Sonata. Now, I sold one of these a while back. It was an excellent flip car, same color, same everything. You guys remember it had a dent in the quarter panel we knocked out, and that was about the only flaw it had. Everything else was good on it. We picked that car up super cheap, and it turned out to be a hell of a flip. This one's 160,000 miles. Let's fire it up, see what happens. She fires right up. Again, AC's already blowing cold. So, you know, people's already been in them, messing with them, testing them out. We'll do the same thing on this one. Reverse. She goes right in. Drive. Right in. We'll give it a little gas, see if she tries to pull. Oh, yeah. She's strong. All right, let's test out. I mean, you know, you can get in here, test the windows out, all that good stuff. Obviously, that would make sense, right? Looks like we've got front windows working, both of them. Rear, well, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Rear windows working, and then obviously this one over here is not going to work. I mean, they've got it all taped up and everything. And if I'm not mistaken, that was something else we had to do on the other Sonata that I flipped. I think it was the other side though. Now, obviously, you're going to want to check fluids. That's one of the most important things, if you ask me, is to get out here and make sure we don't have a milkshake on the dipstick, which we do not. And something else you can do is get in here, check the transmission fluid. Usually you got to check them while it's running, but I just want to see what color, see if it still has a reddish tint, and I want to smell it and see if it smells like burnt clutches. This one actually checks out, so I will definitely keep my eye on this one for sure. Here we've got an 08 G6. I love flipping these cars. These are great flips in my area, and this one's cosmetically challenged, which is exactly what I like the most. I would much rather have cosmetics than mechanical issues. For me personally, cosmetics is a lot easier to straighten out versus trying to diagnose a bunch of craziness, right? I mean, when these things go haywire, it could be many different things, but paint and body work is pretty straightforward. Let's check this one out. See if we got any lights on the dash. We got the TPMS as usual. Looks like I got an airbag. No, it went off. Good deal. So no engine lights or anything, but we all know the trick. You drive at 30 miles and the engine light comes back on. That's always a possibility. Let's check the gears. Everything seems to be good. It's going into gear. And she's pulling, so there we go. Let's see, let's check out our AC. And it's not coming on. The AC's not coming on this one, huh? There's no telling. It could be anything. It could be a switch, it could be a blower motor. There's no telling. Sometimes on these GMs, if you'll get underneath the dash here and bang on the blower motor, they'll come on. Let's see. Not this time though. Oh man, look what I just found. That turned out to be a hell of a flip. I would take another one of these in a heartbeat. Some of you guys laughed at me about my little yellow Minion Chevy Aveo. This thing is awesome. It made me some really good money. Turned out to be a hell of a flip. This one's super clean. Look at this. Okay, so I've got me a few wrote down on my list. I think it's time to get down into the auction. This ain't one of them, that's for sure. This one's a little beat up. I don't think I'll mess with this one, but I've got a few wrote down. Let's get into the auction. I hear the bidders are already going, so it's started. Let's get in there and see what we can do. All right, y'all, so we did get one. Here it is. We got her for $14.95. That's all in, out the door, buyer's fee and all. So let's see what we got. The tires on it look really good. That's good, because those are expensive. Tires are always kind of pricey. So anyway, we did good there on the tires all the way around. They look good. We got a little cosmetics. I might have showed this earlier, so we'll have to deal with that. That's not a problem, dude. I can handle that. Hell, I could even fix that. We'll see how it goes. So we already checked the fluids on it. Let's get it rolling. We know it don't have AC right now. Whew, man, it's hot too. You guys remember that blower motor wasn't coming on. Oh, all right, she fired up. Okay, get these windows down. Man, it's hot. I think it's about 95 today. Well, I'd like to just get that dang AC to work. Oh, there it goes. Look, it's on. Oh man, oh, hopefully it'll get cold. Let's see. Oh, it's cooling off. It's cooling off. Did we get that lucky? That's normally how it is with these old GMs, man. That's a common issue. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys. You can see here, $14.95. That's the out the door price. $1,300 was the winning bid, then the buyer's fee, and then there you go. Woo, boy, they pack them in here tight. I don't know if I can get out of here. Good grief. See how close we are? Woo, boy, we about to get it. All right, we made it. Let's get out of here, man. This thing's starting to cool off. Feels nice. Okay, so we're gonna show them our paperwork so we can get out the gate. You need to see that. All right, so we are out of here. Man, I like these new gates they put up out here. Those are nice. I need some gates like that in my place. All right, so I'm gonna get this old girl home, and I'll let you guys know if anything eventful happens, any kind of breakdowns, overheating, any of that kind of stuff. Hopefully none of that happens. All right, so we're about 5 miles into the trip. We're cruising down the road, 60 miles an hour down the highway, and everything's fine. No overheating, no weird vibrations or anything. See here, 60 miles an hour and 180 degrees, so she's doing good. We do need some gas though, we're about out. I'm noticing a little bit of noise coming out of the front struts, but nothing real bad. We might look into replacing those. We can usually get those fairly cheap and throw them in ourselves. It doesn't take but about an hour, and it totally fixes the issue. The sound goes away and everything. Sometimes it's the sway bar end link bushings too, and those are like 11 bucks and 20 minutes. sound goes away. So we'll look into that, see which one it is. But for right now, I'm just enjoying the ride, man. This thing is actually driving very well, and that AC is working nice. Okay, so obviously we made it. Okay, now we got her home. Let's take a look, see exactly what we got ourselves into here. She's not bad. She's in need of a good buffing, that's for sure. This black paint I think will look great once it's buffed out. But, you know, not too bad. The worst of it is up here. And from the looks of it, I think I'll be able to just come untie this and click it right back into the, I mean, the whole bracket's there. Look, even the bolt is still there. I mean, that clicks in super easy, and then it'll hold itself together just fine. Right here's the worst of it. It does have a, can you see that? It has a dent right there. Yes, I took a little smacking right in that area, I guess. Cracked the bumper. But everything's isolated to right here for the most part. The rest of it's just mostly scuffs and scrapes. Nothing major, just, you know, normal wear and tear. Showed you guys this a minute ago, man. These tires look like brand new practically. I mean, look at that. All right, leaving AutoZone, we got our parts, we're good to go. Some sway bar bushings ought to fix this noisy front end. But that should quieten that front end down, and those are so easy to replace. It was like 14 bucks, tax and all. It'll take about 20 minutes. It takes more time to jack the car up than it does to replace those bushings, to be honest. And I'm happy to report that the air conditioning is still working fine. It hasn't cut out not even one time since we tapped on it and got it to work, since we picked it up from the auction. And we've already put 162 miles on it since we bought it. I set the trip meter back to 0 when I picked it up. I drove it out to the pull-apart yard earlier. We picked up an interior piece of little cup holders that go back here in the back. Yeah, this piece right here goes to the back of the console. It's the rear, it's got double cup holders there, and that piece was missing, so I went ahead and picked one up. Got the receipt here. They charged me 99 cents for it, so money well spent. That was the only missing piece on the interior, so I figured why not, man, just swing by and get it. I had to get that passenger side mirror while I was at it, so why not snag one of those up. 99 cents to make the interior complete. I mean, why not? In case you were wondering, it was only $3.50 for that mirror. All I needed was the glass, so it just snaps right on there. Real easy to do. Did it right there in the parking lot. So now that the car is complete, we got everything we need. I want to start making it look better. We're going to get in here. We're going to do a quick detail. This car doesn't need much in regards of cleaning. The inside is actually decent. Got a little pet hair and just normal dirtiness. It's nothing gross like some of our other flips where we've had to gut the interior and pressure wash everything and all of that. This one's just not going to be that bad. So we're going to breeze right through it, and then we're going to move on to the outside and get the outside straightened out. Okay, so we're back at the shop. Let's get these put in. I'm gonna show you guys just how easy this is. The bolt is just right up in here behind the tie rod here. Not too hard to get to. Jag it up, pull the wheel off. Once that's done, just get you a screwdriver in here, pry up on the bracket that holds it down. I'll get this out and show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is what you heard fall out of there. That's the clip that clips into the subframe, and then that's the bolt we took out. And this holds in the bushing. Now this bushing could be fun to get off sometimes, but if it's wore out, it should slide off of that sway bar fairly easy. There it is right there. It's got a little slot in it, so you could just like push it right off the sway bar. Kind of hard with one hand, but being wore out, it should come off fairly easy, just like that. And then that's what goes up inside of the bracket, just like this. And this is what sits on your subframe, and your sway bar goes right through it. So if you got something banging and clanging around underneath the front end of your car, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the struts. It could be that sway bar just bouncing off of the subframe. I mean, that would obviously be noisy. It's a solid steel bar. Alright, so I got the new one on there. We're just going to slip it up into place, and then we'll slide the bracket back on. We'll go over it. I'm going to go over and do the other side before I put it all together, before I bolt it solid. Get both bushings back on it, both brackets in place, both the bolts started, and then I'll tighten it all down on both sides. Now you're going to want to make sure that when you put this in that you get that tab slipped down into that little slot on the top of the subframe before you bolt this down, or otherwise it's not going to be right. You don't want the tab to sit on top of the subframe. It's got to be in the little notch. And you'll see it, there's one in there. It's not hard to do. You can even crawl up underneath there and kind of feel around from the other side if you need to. There's plenty of room. I'm hoping you guys can see this. I know the lighting's terrible, but I do have it in position and I should be able just to start my bolt now. We got the other side ready to go. We should be able just to tighten it down now. All that's left now is to put the wheel back on and let it down off the jack stands. And I told you it takes longer to jack it up, pull the wheel off, than it does to actually replace those bushings. Those are super easy and money well spent. 14 bucks. I'm going to show you guys the headlight. Little weird beard treatment I did on the headlights. This is after, and this was before. You guys remember this? It's terrible. That's what it looked like. It looked like somebody actually did clear these at one time, and now it's all peeling back off. So I'll show you guys exactly how I did it. I wet sanded it down with some 320 grit sandpaper. Got all of that feathered off of there where it's all peeling and cracked and all of that. Got all the yellow off and just re-clear coated it. All right, like I said, we're just going to spray it down with a little bit of water. I got my 320 grit wet paper right there, and we're just going to sand all that mess off of there. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna take some elbow grease, especially considering that someone's already done this before and it all peeled off. I guess they didn't sand it good or whatever. So we'll take a little extra work on these just because of that, but hopefully yours will just have the yellowing on there, and yours will be a lot easier to do. You can also go back and just buff them out, of course, but since these are so bad, I'm just gonna go ahead and hit them with some clear coat. I apologize for all the noise. We got the vacuum cleaner going on in the background, fans and air compressors, you name it. I wanted to show you, this is where I'm sanding it down. This is where some of the clear coat is still left that someone had sprayed on, and that's what we're working off of there. Once we get that off, we just got a few more places here and there. Once that's off and it all looks like this, really dull, that's when we'll be able to spray the clear coat on it. All right, so there it is after sanding it down, and it's hard to believe that that is going to look like that here in just a few minutes as soon as I spray the clear on it. Now, I'm just using some clear coat that I had laying around from previous projects, so I went ahead and mixed it up, put it in a paint gun. I don't want you guys to be intimidated thinking that that's what you got to do, because you don't. You can buy, clear coat in a spray can form right at Walmart. It's only a few bucks. Get a good brand, Krylon, something like that. You want something good out on the front of your vehicle, because those headlights do take a beating. All right, here we go. Just like that, she's shiny again. Okay, so the headlights are in. I'm gonna go ahead and get the bumper on now and finish up my repair to the outside of the bumper. I want to do that while the bumper's actually on, in place, fastened down. That way we're not out here bending around and tweaking around on it and cracking out all of our new bodywork, right? Now, this is what I've done to the inside. Gone through, sanded everything down, got it nice and roughed up, and then there's the repair. A little bit of filler. This is kitty hair fiberglass with the mesh. It's actually got a mesh cloth that goes in there, and then you putty over the top of that, kind of sandwich it between the two layers of the filler there that also has fiberglass in it. That should be a strong repair. It should hold it very well. Now that that's taken care of, like I said, we'll flip it over to the other side. So there's my bumper repair. That's where the bumper was literally ripped in half. I'm gonna get a coat of primer, or actually a couple coats of primer on there, and then we'll hit it with some paint. Everything I'm using is coming out of a spray can, just stuff you can buy at Walmart. This is black. It's super easy to match. We don't have to worry about anything being shades off or anything like that. So we're going super cheap. This, by the time I'm done with it, will probably be about a $15 repair. And hey, by the way, if you guys want to see real bodywork paint videos, go check out some of my other videos. I'll leave a screen, like an end screen at the end of the video, or a card up top you can click on, or whatever. We do real paint and bodywork here. We don't just do this kind of stuff. We're out with spray paint and all that. just the way it is with these old flip cars. You can't spend a whole lot of time with them or you won't make any money on them. And besides, I mean, we're talking 2,500 bucks is what somebody's going to pay for this thing. You know, we're not going to spend hours and hours and hours out here block sanding, all that kind of stuff. I mean, we ran a buffer over it, we fixed the busted bumper, as good as it gets on these cheap cars. I mean, hell, we even redid the headlights. What more do you want? Okay, that's it. She is cleaned up. I do want to swing by the car wash right quick, and I want to scrape the stickers off the windows, all the auction lettering and all of that. I'm just going to do it right at the car wash on my way into town. I'm on my way to run some errands anyway, and I do drive my flip cars. I've already put damn near 200 miles on this car already, and I've only had it a few days, but she turned out great. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but no more banging and clanging in the front end. That really did fix it, those $14 bushings. So good to go there. The AC is blowing ice cold. It hasn't cut off on me one time since I've gotten it, since we got it fired up, so we're doing good there. My favorite part, peeling off the auction stickers. That's how you know she's ready to sell. This is just some steel wool. 4 zeros on this one. Make sure it's 0000. You don't want to use anything else or you'll scratch the glass. All right, everybody, here it is, the finished product. I think she looks pretty good. Not too bad. She shined up pretty well. She's got some little scuffs and scrapes here and there, you know, nothing major, but yeah, I mean, what do you think we can get for it? 154,000 miles, 08 model. This is a G5, Pontiac G5, and she's really clean inside. No rips, no tears. Front seat, back seat, it all looks really nice. So I was thinking we could get at least 2,500 bucks for it, I would think, but time will tell. She's going up for sale. I'm going to take the pictures right now and get it posted, see how quick we can get it out of here. All right, everybody, I got a guy on the way going to look at this. I apologize for the wind noise if there is any. He says he's going to come check it out. Wish me luck. Hopefully they'll buy it. Now, I just showed it a few minutes ago to somebody, and it was kind of a pain, kind of aggravated me a little bit. They got out here and they drove it way too hard. Kind of upset me a little bit. I don't like that, man. I mean, they're like downshifting it down into first gear and all this weird stuff. It's like, it's an automatic, man. Why are you doing all that, you know? Hit a big old deep pothole with it. That is very aggravating, but it's part of the job, man. People do that sometimes. They get out here and they're just kind of rough with them, and they think that's what you got to do on a test drive. Listen, I understand you got to get your foot in it a little bit, kind of get it up on the highway, stuff like that, but I mean, why are we doing 50 miles an hour and then downshifting it into first? What is that? Do you do that on a test drive? It's stupid. So anyway, after all of that, we get back to the lot, and he's, hey, do you mind if we take it and have my mechanic look at it? Dude, you offered me $2,500 for this car, and you think I'm gonna follow you to the city now? We're gonna go do the mechanic thing. Listen, I don't mind people bringing mechanics to look at these cars. Hell, I'll get underneath and jack it up for you and let you get underneath it. That is no problem at all. But I am not following you back to the city to have your mechanic get underneath this thing and pick it apart. You should have brought him with you. You know what I mean? So anyway, part of the business. People will waste your time. I mean, it happens a lot. So anyway, hopefully the next guy will come in here and buy it. And that's I told him, I said, look, you know, maybe in a higher price range, if I was selling this thing over $3,000 or $4,000, something like that, sure, I would go through the trouble of doing all that. In this price range, you're just typically not really going to find that. And the reason being is because I know usually the next guy, he'll buy it, no questions asked. He's not going to be trying. This guy, the first thing he asked me walking up to, does it come with a warranty? And it's like, dude, it's under $3,000. Of course not. No way. We're not doing warranties. We're not doing any of that kind of stuff. So anyway, this is kind of what you deal with in this business. But hopefully, like I said, this guy will buy it. Well, alrighty, guys. There she goes. That was a quick flip right there. What did we have that thing? A couple of days, I think. In and out. Me and my wife flipped that car together. She did all the interior cleaning while I did the cosmetics on the outsides. And there she goes, man. On down the road very, very quick. So anyway, you guys are here to find out if we made any money flipping a car. And you know, we did good on that one, actually. Like I said, we picked it up for $1,500 all in. That's buyer's fee and all, $1,300 winning bid, $200 buyer fee. And yes, the buyer's fees have doubled now. Nice. Anyway, $1,500 all in. I literally spent like $20 on that car, guys, to flip it. Everything else was just good old-fashioned elbow grease. So do the math, man. $1,500. We sold it for $2,500. We made $1,000 just to kind of fix a crack in a bumper, replace a couple bushings on the sway bar, and clean the interior, which, like I said, I didn't even have to do. Thanks to Miss Beard, she took care of that for me. Very nice of her, much appreciated. Thank you. As for now, I got to get back out to the auction. We got some money in the pocket. We got to keep this thing rolling. I really want to get these flips a lot closer together. I think things are starting to kind of get a little bit more, you know, back to normal at the auctions. Everything has been really crazy with the whole COVID thing. Nobody's trading their used cars in anymore, so that's where I get my cars. They're mostly just dealer trade-ins, and nobody's trading them in anymore. So what do? You know, I've been dragging cars out of people's yards, you know, but giving them the weird beard treatment just to have something to flip lately. And it's tough out here, I'll tell you what. Hey, an interesting little side note, you guys. This particular flip was brought to you by this 30-year-old little tiny air compressor that I dug out of the storage. This thing belonged to Grandpa, and he used to flip cars with it back in the day before he passed away. He was an old car flipper from way back, and that's what he used to flip his cars with inside of his little one-car detached garage. You're probably asking, why am I using that old thing? Why aren't you using your big 80-gallon air compressor? Well, I am having electricity problems again. Some of you guys, a couple videos back, might remember that we had a bunch of ants get into our main breaker out on the pole. We had to call electric company to come out and take turn the electricity off so that I could take everything apart. We cleaned all the ants out, put it back in, but I do believe that breaker it's damaged. It's no good. Here's what we got going on. For all you electrician guys out there, help me out here. If I plug in my air compressor, all the lights come on. Otherwise, none of the lights will come on. I do have some electricity out here, but it's only enough to run like small things. I'm not getting all of the juice out here, it doesn't seem like. I believe it's back feeding through the air compressor. Somehow plugging the air compressor completes the ground and everything, it all comes on. The air compressor makes a real loud humming sound, so we know that ain't right. So anyway, that's what we got. I believe a back feeding issue or some sorts. I'm not an electrician, I'm very limited on that, so maybe you guys can help me out with that. But for right now, if nothing else, at least it's a little bit of inspiration for you guys out there that are always wondering if, you know, do I need all of this, you know, a big shop loaded full of tools and all of that just to flip a car? And the answer is no. You could do this stuff right outside. And I've seen people live in apartment complexes. They don't even have a carport or anything, and they flip cars just fine. Some guys just pay somebody else to do it. That's fine too. You don't even have to know anything about cars to flip them. It is helpful, but you can get around it. I promise you that. And looky there, we just flipped one with $1,000 profit on the bare minimum. You know, I mean, an old 30-year-old little bitty air compressor, a small little vacuum cleaner, everything else, just, you know, a lot of elbow grease, cleaners from the dollar store, Tide. I mean, if you just use your Tide laundry detergent, it make a car smell so good. I mean, just, You don't have to spend a lot of money to flip cars. And if you do spend a lot of money on these little cars, you won't make a dime, I promise you.